We are in the historic city of Comitan de Dominguez here in the state of Chiapas in Mexico, and I have so much to show you, it might even take 2 videos. Today first, however, we're going to go right to the market and get some breakfast. So let's go there first. So we're just here at the market, gonna find some breakfast. So just came in here, they had a whole bunch of different prepared dishes ready to go. So we're trying some chicken mole and some fried eggs, and it'll have like tortillas and stuff to go with it, and some coffee. And they're just over there preparing it now, so it should be a few minutes. So this looks amazing. So I've got some chicken mole with a couple nice pieces of chicken breast. I got a fried egg with some rice and some tortilla right there and some coffee right there. And this looks amazing. So I'm gonna shut up and dig in and eat. That mole is insane. So that was Comedor Mirabel here at the Central Market, just by the square. Really nice people and delicious food. So if you're looking for a place to come here at the market to eat, definitely recommend this place because it's fantastic. Really good spot. So make sure you come and check it out. Adios! So as is typical here on a Saturday, and it is super busy. All the vendors are here. We're just down here in the section by the meat and stuff. And then what we're going to do is we're going to head out to the front. And you even get stuff for the dogs, which is kind of awesome to see. Let's head up this way and tell you a bit more about Comitan de Dominguez. And we're out. So welcome to Comitan de Dominguez here in Chiapas State in Mexico, as I continue to work my way down through the country to eventually pick up where I left off in Costa Rica. I've been here for about 48 hours so far, and it's been an incredible city to check out, and I'm really excited to show it to you today. I actually didn't really know too much about Comitan de Dominguez before I started researching it. I found a blog post actually, which was really good. I'll actually put it in the link down below here, which was super helpful. It was from another guy who's been traveling through this part of the world and strongly recommended people come and check it out. It's not heavily on the tourist path as you come through this part of the country. Usually people go to like Tuxtla Gutierrez and San Cristobal, but most people don't come here, and they are missing out, I can tell you that much. So as you saw there initially, we took a walk through the market, got some breakfast, had a lovely conversation with the owners that were there, and super nice people. And so today, what I thought I'd like to show you is a bit of the history of the city, some of the cool places that it has to check out. And then the second half of this video, which I may break into 2, is actually going to be a visit to the Mayan ruins just outside the city. So like most places in Mexico, this place was originally founded by an indigenous sect of the Maya called the Zetal people, and that was initially founded, thousands or hundreds of years before the Spanish ever came along. The original indigenous name of the city was Balun Canan, which stands for 9 stars in English. So in 1528, with the arrival of the Spanish, the town was then named Comitán and was under the jurisdiction of the greater Guatemalan area. It was later changed to Comitán de las Flores, and then in 1915 was given the name Comitán de Dominguez, which is what it stands as today. Comitán de Dominguez is named after a local hero, scientist and politician who stood up to the Mexican government and was later assassinated for it. As a result of that, the city was then given his name in his honor after the fact. This is the Templo de Santo Domingo de Guzman, which was founded shortly after the city's conversion to the Spanish in the early 1500s and has stood here since that time. Combined with that, there's also a larger series of buildings. Through here there's a theater, the Archaeological Museum is just down here, and then just up on the other side of this, where we're headed now, is the Museum of Belisario Domínguez. So let's take a walk up through the park and then head up to the museum. There's the City Theater building right here, which looks familiar to a lot of the other theater buildings we've seen, like from the outside. Very similar style to them, but they have daily performances here, I believe. And just off in the distance there, just down at the end of the road, there is the Church of San Jose, which we'll take a walk by in a little bit. But if you're in Comitan and need information, one of the things I can recommend is actually they have an information booth here for tourists on the park, which will have all the information that you need if you need to figure out how to get around the city. Anyway, let's head over to the museum. So after that little video introduction, they bring you into this first room, which is like a sitting room kind of area. And they have a whole section here on his family history, photos from his family, documents and stuff. And in these drawers that are here, they actually have these really cool original documents of things that were written by Belisario Domínguez. The light's in a bad spot, so it's hard to kind of see it, but this was a letter that he wrote in a newspaper that was critical of the Mexican government back in 1897 when he was still living in Guatemala. So in 1903, while he was a doctor in Mexico City, Belisario Domínguez was faced with the death of his wife, Delina, and it fundamentally changed the way he thought about things, and I want to say it radicalized him, but it certainly made him more political in nature, which ultimately led to his fight against the government, which ultimately led to his speech in Mexico City in 1913, which ultimately led to his death shortly thereafter. And you can see here that the room where she perished was quite a basic room, a simple bed, not a lot of photos of family or anything of that type of thing, but just a few remnants that were with her when she passed. So backing up a little bit here, when Belisario was 16, he left for France to go study medicine, which was in 1879, I believe. And he actually studied there for a number of years, got his degree, Doctor of Medicine. There's a replica of the diploma there. Some more of the documents and photos from that time. Some of the items that he had from his trip in France, tickets, and the kind of things that I collect actually, which is kind of funny. Old ticket stubs and entrance tickets and those types of things. Here is some more of the ephemera from Paris when he was working in a pharmacy. So, some of the advertisements, some glasses, different things like that. And then this full recreation here, which is kind of impressive, of old style pharmacy of the time. Continuing on here, so the next room here we have some of his political efforts, I would say, his activism that kind of really took off after the death of his wife in 1903. He started a newspaper called El Bate, which they have some of the originals of here, which was often critical of the government and was working towards more freedoms for the people. And then there was also some information here on the civic activism in Comitán itself. So one of the things he talks about specifically here is that in 1906 the roof of the hospital needed to be replaced, and the governor of the state was corrupt, in a word, I guess, And so Belisario actually donated the money to have the roof repaired on the hospital, and then specifically called out the governor after that fact to get the money back that had been donated but never spent on the hospital. So he was quite active in this community and in the country. In 1911, he was elected to the Senate for the city of Comitán. And then, of course, we get into, talking about his untimely death in 1913 after going to the city of Mexico and speaking in front of the Congress against then president, and who was a bit of a dictator at the time. And so Belisario Domínguez actually lost his life. Was assassinated by a group of men loyal to the president. This is a really amazing space if you want to come and you're in Comitán and you want to learn history about the city. And, obviously the city being named after him, I would say that Belisario Domínguez's stature here in the city is unmatched. And this place is great. It's 20 pesos to get in, and with the video, and then the other video, and then this beautiful museum and stuff. It's definitely worth your coming and checking it out. All right, so that museum is awesome. It's 20 pesos, and you'd be doing the city a disservice, I think, if you don't go and check it out while you're here. Worth noting that it is only in Spanish, but if you have your phone, you've got Google Translate, and it can take care of all the signs and stuff for you. There's so much information in there, and it's just a really great place, and clearly the people who are running it care very deeply about it as well. We are just heading down this way. I thought I'd go down and have a quick look at the Templo de San José and have a look at that before we head over to the Archaeological Museum. So this is the Templo de San José here in Comitán. I just thought I'd stop by real quick and have a look at it. It's an impressive spot. It was actually originally planned to be built in the mid to late 1800s, and the actual initial building was completed. But then in 1902 there was an earthquake because of an eruption of a volcano over in Guatemala, and the ash and all that sort of stuff actually came here and ultimately caused the destruction of the original church from the earthquake, and then the damage from the ash and everything else. So then in 1910 the second church here, which stands today, was then built. So this has now been here for about 115 years in total, and they're just taking some stuff out of the inside there. It looks like they're just finishing up a service, so I won't bother them, but beautiful building on the outside. And you can see it right all the way up from the square, just by the way it's designed here in the city. It just kind of sticks up high enough that you can see everything from pretty much anywhere in the city, so it's pretty cool. There's a little park here. They've got some more Christmas festivities set up in the park, and there's a really nice statue here of some musicians along here as well. So I've just come over to the Archaeological Museum here in Comitán. It's no charge to get in, which is nice. It's just about a half a block from the main square, and we're going to go in and take a look. A little teaser, I suppose, for the ruins tomorrow. So this little museum is dedicated to the area around Comitán here. There are several different Mayan ruin sites in the region, and tomorrow I'm going to Tenam Puente, which is one of the ones that's not too far from here. I'm really excited to see it because I hear it's beautiful, and it's one of those places that not a lot of people go and check out, which I've had some pretty cool experiences with in the past when that happens, so I'm really looking forward to it. So here's some examples of some figurines that they found at the site Municipio de la Trinitaria. They found these kind of human-shaped anthropomorphic heads. Some more artifacts here, things like knives and spear tips, jewelry. This one here, particularly made out of teeth, is particularly interesting. Some arrowheads between 600 and 800 AD. We've seen these kind of stamps before too, for adding lines and designs on people. And then there's also cutting tools, flint, and as we see here now, as we get into 600 to 800 AD, you start to see more of the designs on the bowls. Here's the Acropolis in Chincultic. It's a painting here showing how they were actually raising these stelas. These stelas are in pretty much every Mayan site that you go to. They're usually a recording of history or of people of the time. And this is kind of a neat showing of how they were actually putting them up. They use a group, with ropes, and then the carver would then help. And you can see over here in the distance, they're actually cutting off the pieces that are then used. Some more really cool figurines here from 600 to 900 AD, different animals and figureheads. Some very ornate ones also. They actually have two of these large carved stones here from a pelota game field that they found. And this one here is the original, which is pretty worn, but kind of gives you an idea of what it looked like. And here's a picture of the different ones that they found, and kind of shows you how they were, set up on the field. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the one in the middle was always kind of the starting point of the game. And this one here is actually on loan to the Casa de Mexico in España in Madrid from October of this year until February of next. This stela is dated to 652 AD and represented a priest or a ruler in ritual, showing wearing a headdress, obviously, and necklaces and different types of ornate decorations. And again, they always date these with the Mayan symbology at the bottom, usually included dates, and that's how they were always able to identify them. Here's some more decorative vases and things. These are really cool. This one here, you can see all the paint and stuff, the design that's still on it. This one here is actually carved on the side. This fragment, it's actually from Puente, where we're headed tomorrow. And then they had this really cool box. So this is one of the coolest pieces I think I've ever seen out of all the different spots I've been to. This is a recreation of the Cave de los Endasolos. They found this huge ceremonial urn here in a cave, and the decoration on it is just amazing to see. And there's all these other little pots that were also found in the same cave, offerings to different deities and things like that. But this thing in particular, and I'm going to take a nice high-res picture of it here as well, but that is spectacular. And the last bit here is an example of a burial site that they found, with some of the offerings and pots and things that they found within the site, within the tomb, I guess is the best way to put it. They get these little incense burners and pots, and obviously skeleton, and then these larger ceramics also, some of which have some really cool paint and design on them. So this little separate room is dedicated to Puente. And I'll give you a bit of a rundown. This is in Spanish, but I can understand most of it, which means I'm getting better. The name Puente was derived from the Nahuatl word Tenamitil, which was a significant fortification. And then it was actually rediscovered for the first time in 1925 by Franz Blom and Oliver Laforge. And they actually published it in a famous book called Tributos and Templos. And it was sort of the first time it was identified. And then in 1992 it was officially recognized by the National Archaeological Society in Mexico. Everything in this room is all stuff that they discovered from that site. Some really ornate bowls with some really cool painting and stuff on them. Some of these have been obviously pieced back together. they're saying that these ceramics are influenced by Teotihuacan, based on its classic design. So this was actually a human femur that was turned into a musical instrument. Looks like a flute, maybe, of some sort, from around 800 AD. Here's some examples of some funerary urns that they have found post-classic period. So this would be like 900 AD onward. Around the other side here too, because this one's got a really, looks like a cat design on it. So this here is what was known as tomb number 10. And this urn was located inside of it. The tomb itself actually had a flat floor added and these masonry style walls with a roof. And on the floor in front of it, they found pieces of jade and jaguar fangs and seashells and all that kind of stuff. And it was very indicative that this held a high-ranking member of nobility, or the ranking, the ruling class, and would correspond to around the end of the classic period, somewhere around 800 to 900 AD. Very excited to see this place tomorrow. I think it's going to be a really special place that, again, I don't think a lot of people go to. Everything that I've read has said that it's never very busy, so it's going to be an exciting time tomorrow, and I think to go check that out. And that is the tour of the Archaeological Museum here in Comitán. Again, cool little spot. Nobody else here. Again, I'm the only one here, but it's a great little space. It's free to get into. It's open 7 days a week, and would definitely recommend coming and checking it out. You only need a half an hour maybe or so. Once again, signs are in Spanish, but just use your phone to do the translations and you will be A-okay. All right, so let's head back to my place where I'm staying. It's only a couple blocks from here, which is nice. I'll give you kind of the lowdown on that and the price I paid and all that sort of stuff. And then this evening, we're going to head back out to the central square to check out all the lights for the holidays. So I thought I'd show you where I've been staying for the last few nights here in Comitan de Dominguez here in Chiapas. Great little spot. This is the Hotel Classico Colonial, and it's about a block and a half, 2 blocks maybe from the main center square, and just about everything else is within a few blocks as well. It's been great. It's been perfect for a solo traveler. This is exactly what I wanted. So got a nice double-sized bed here. They just came in and cleaned it, so everything's nice and fresh looking. So I figured this was a good time to show it off. Nice double bed, super comfortable, been really good for sleeping. And there's a nice fan up here on the wall. You do not need air conditioning here, at least in this part of the year. It's been nice and temperate. It's been great. There's a little work desk here that I've been using to get my work done. Storage area for your clothes, of course. Nice window, and not much of a view, just out to the courtyard here in the hotel, but a nice breeze and good blackout curtains. And then in here is the bathroom. And it's a little narrow, but it's been great. You get your toilet on this side, you get your sink here in the middle, and then behind this door, you've got a nice big walk-in shower. Plenty of hot water in the mornings, which has been great for, getting yourself clean and ready to go. Yeah, this place checks all my boxes. So usually, I look for 3 or 4 different things. I look for a comfortable bed, I look for hot water in the shower, good Wi-Fi, and pretty close to everything at a good price. And this hit all of those perfectly. Great staff here, super friendly. The price I paid for this place was $15 US per night. And I'm here, it should be high season or whatever you want to call it. I booked it through booking.com, and including taxes and everything, came to about $15 US per night. It's perfect. I mean, everyone keeps asking me in my comments, where do you find places for $15 a night? And my answer is everywhere, pretty well. I mean, I've not had an issue finding places for, less than $20. And this is another example. It's not the Hilton. It's not a dump. It's perfect in between. It's a privately run local place that's close to everything, good facilities, great price. This is exactly what I think people should be looking for when they're traveling solo. So big thumbs up to the Hotel Classico Colonial. Fantastic stay here. And if I ever came back to Comitan de Dominguez, I would definitely stay here again. Everyone's certainly in the Christmas spirit. Let's head over to the main square and have a look. Welcome to the Zocalo, or Central Park, here in Comitán at night, just before Christmas. Everything is lit up. Even the buildings are decorated, the streets, everywhere you look. So if you are here and you're looking for a place to eat, there's a bunch of restaurants right behind me here at the top end of the square. Mostly kind of touristy places. You know, for my money, I would just go to the market, which is only a block away, and go eat there instead. But if you want some, you know, sit on the park and watch the people, this whole strip here is all restaurants. So that's definitely an option if you want to do that. Let's take a little walk through the park here and see some of the lights. We've even got a Grinch. There's Santa Claus up there. And over here they've got the city letters all decorated. They've even got an igloo over here with some snowmen and stuff in front of it. It's all very surreal to see some of this, knowing how snowy and cold it's been back home already this winter. And we're here and it's about 17, 18 degrees and really, really nice out. Take a walk through and then go down and have a look at the Christmas tree down over here. They've also got the fountain all decorated and all kinds of stuff. It's weird to see some of the lights blinking in my camera because they're not blinking in real life. Well, those balloons are, but other things are not. So over here, they have a couple of streets that are just full of like little restaurants and games and all kinds of activities and stuff. Just have a little walk over there too. Down here is where the little, I guess I'll call it a carnival. I don't really know what to call it, but basically just lots of street vendors with food and little games and stuff to check out. So we'll take a little walk over there. One of the nice things about the night markets everywhere you go is that there's always some amazing food available. And I'm just here, stopped at Hamburguesas Don Chiapas. I ordered a bacon cheeseburger with all the vegetables and stuff, and it's only 50 pesos here. So I'm just waiting for that order, and then we'll give it a try here in a few minutes. So this is my 50 peso bacon cheeseburger. It looks and smells amazing. So I'm going to talk about it very briefly. Bacon, cheese, tomatoes, onions, lettuce, jalapenos, ketchup, mustard, the whole bit. And yeah, this is going to be really good. My mouth is watering just talking about it. what a cool atmosphere. Just sitting here and enjoying people watching, snacking, and the amazing weather. So it's the perfect way to end my day here in Comitán. And tomorrow I am off to the ruins, and I'm really excited to show you that too. More to come from here in Comitan de Dominguez, Chiapas, Mexico.